When I first moved into the dorms at Riverside University, I never imagined that my biggest problem wouldn't be the endless papers, the sleepless nights, or the brutal finals, but my own roommate. Her name was Kayla, and at first glance, she seemed perfect, friendly, outgoing, with this kind of effortless charm that made everyone want to be around her. I thought I lucked out, because a good roommate was half the battle in surviving college. I was wrong. I should have noticed the red flags earlier. Like the time she borrowed my sweater without asking and then pretended she thought it was hers. Or the day she accidentally used my shampoo, even though it had my name written on it. Small things, right? That's what I kept telling myself, that maybe I was being too picky, that sharing a space meant stuff like this would happen. But I couldn't ignore how she always seemed to get what she wanted, even if it meant stepping on people. By the time finals week was approaching, I was under insane stress. I'm a computer science major, and my laptop wasn't just a tool for me, it was my lifeline. All my coding projects, my essays, my notes, everything was on it. If I lost it, I'd basically failed a semester. I spent nights in the library, headphones on, typing until my eyes burned. Kayla, on the other hand, didn't seem nearly as stressed. She was more focused on partying, going out, and somehow pulling off grades that I never saw her study for. It was suspicious, but I didn't have time to worry about her life. My finals were days away, and I had to nail them. Then came the night everything fell apart. I came back to the dorm after a brutal review session. My backpack felt like it was cutting into my shoulders, and all I wanted was to collapse into bed. But when I opened the door, something felt off. Kayla wasn't there, but the light over her desk was on, and for some reason, my desk looked emptier than usual. I went over, and my stomach dropped. My laptop was gone. At first, I thought maybe I had left it at the library, which wasn't like me, but stress does weird things. I dumped out my bag, checked every pocket, tore through the room. Nothing. My laptop was nowhere. Panic set in fast. I grabbed my phone and used the tracking app I'd installed, praying it was just misplaced. The little dot popped up on the screen, but instead of showing the library or a random classroom, it showed a location just a few blocks away, on the edge of campus, near the student apartments. My heart was pounding. I knew Kayla had been talking about going to a party there tonight. At first, I tried to reason with myself. Maybe someone stole it from the library, maybe the tracker was off, maybe I'd left it with a friend. But then I remembered how Kayla had been eyeing my laptop the week before, asking me about its specs, even joking, "If you ever lose that thing, I call dibs." My gut told me the truth I didn't want to admit. My roommate had stolen my laptop. I texted her immediately, "Hey, do you know where my laptop is? I can't find it anywhere." She didn't respond. Not for 10 minutes, not for 30. Finally, I got a single reply, "Chill, I don't have it." But the tracker didn't lie. The dot was still there, sitting right at that apartment building. That was when I made the decision. I was going to go get it back. What I didn't know was that confronting her would drag me into something way bigger than just a stolen laptop, and that finals week was about to become the least of my worries. I didn't even stop to think about how crazy it was to walk across campus in the middle of the night just because my tracker said my laptop was nearby. All I could focus on was that little blinking dot and the thought that if I didn't get it back, weeks of work and my entire semester would go down the drain. I pulled on a hoodie, shoved my phone in my pocket, and headed out, ignoring the freezing night air biting my face. The closer I got to the apartments, the more uneasy I felt. They weren't like the dorms, these were off-campus places, mostly upperclassmen or people who didn't care about rules. Loud music pounded from the top floor, voices shouted, and the smell of beer hit me before I even opened the door. The tracker said my laptop was inside. I pushed through the crowd of people, trying to ignore the stares as I scanned the living room, the kitchen, every corner where Kayla might be. Finally, I spotted her. Sitting on the couch, laughing with a red cup in her hand, like she didn't have a care in the world. And sitting right next to her, half hidden under her jacket, was my laptop. I froze. My pulse hammered so hard I thought I'd faint. I walked straight over, and her smile faded when she saw me. "Oh, hey," she said casually, like nothing was wrong. I pointed at the laptop. "That's mine. Why do you have it?" Her friend shifted uncomfortably, glancing between us. Kayla rolled her eyes. "Relax, I just borrowed it. Mine died, and I had a paper due. I was going to put it back." "Borrowed?" I hissed. "You didn't ask. You took it without telling me, and I've been tearing the dorm apart looking for it." She shrugged, sipping her drink. "You're being dramatic. It's not a big deal." "Not a big deal?" My entire academic life was on that laptop. I grabbed it off the couch, clutching it to my chest like someone might rip it away again. Her tone shifted, sharper, colder. "Wow, really? You're going to embarrass me in front of my friends over some dumb laptop?" "It's not dumb," I shot back. "And don't pretend you didn't steal it." Her friends went quiet, awkwardly pretending not to listen, but I could feel their eyes on us. Kayla leaned in close, her smile gone. "You don't want to do this," she whispered. "Trust me." My skin crawled. There was something in her voice, a warning, like this wasn't just about the laptop. Like she was hiding something much darker. I didn't care. I stormed out, clutching the laptop, but the relief I expected never came. Because when I got back to the dorm and opened it, my relief turned to dread. The screen lit up, but my desktop was different. My files weren't where I left them. Folders were missing, and others had been renamed. At first, I thought maybe she just moved things around, but then I clicked on one of the new folders. Inside were screenshots of emails, text conversations, and even documents I had never saved on my laptop. Stuff that wasn't mine. Stuff that belonged to other people. My hands shook as I scrolled. I saw messages between professors, confidential grade reports, even drafts of exams. And then I saw something that made my blood run cold, a document with my name on it, but it wasn't something I had written. It was an essay I'd never seen before, complete with plagiarism. If anyone thought it was mine, I'd be kicked out of the program. My phone buzzed, and it was a message from Kayla. "You should have just let it go." That was when I realized this wasn't about a borrowed laptop. Kayla had planted something on my computer. She was setting me up. I didn't know why, but if I didn't figure it out fast, my entire future was about to be destroyed. I barely slept that night. I just sat on my bed with the laptop open, scrolling through the files Kayla had left behind like some kind of sick warning. Every folder felt like a trap. There were dozens of screenshots of other students' grades, private messages between professors, and even full copies of final exams from multiple classes. I couldn't wrap my head around it. How did she get this stuff, and why was it on my laptop? And then the real horror hit me. If anyone checked my computer, it would look like I was the one collecting all this. My stomach churned as I imagined being dragged in front of the dean, accused of cheating, expelled. Everything I had worked for, gone. I tried to think of what to do. Confronting Kayla again was pointless. She had made it clear that this was intentional. She wasn't scared of me, she was confident, like she had the upper hand. I thought about going to the campus IT office, but what if they reported it to the administration before I could explain? What if they thought I was lying and just trying to cover myself? No one would believe that my own roommate set me up. My phone buzzed again, another text from her. "Careful who you talk to. You wouldn't want anyone thinking you're involved in this." It felt like my chest was caving in. She knew exactly what she was doing. She had me cornered. The next morning, I went to class, dragging myself through lectures I couldn't focus on. My mind was racing with every possible outcome, every way this could blow up in my face. And then, during my programming class, one of my friends, Ethan, leaned over and whispered, "Hey, random question. Do you know why someone would have a copy of Professor Wilson's final?" I heard rumors it got leaked. My blood froze. The rumor had already started. If it spread that I had the exam on my computer, I'd be done. After class, I pulled Ethan aside and asked where he heard it. He said someone mentioned it at the party last night. My throat went dry. Kayla had told people. She wanted the rumor out there, wanted suspicion to fall on me. I rushed back to the dorm, my pulse pounding. Kayla was there this time, lounging on her bed with a smug smile. "Rough day?" she asked sweetly. I slammed the door shut. "What the hell are you doing? Why are you putting this stuff on my laptop?" She shrugged, twirling a strand of hair. "Because you're useful. You're the perfect scapegoat. Quiet, hard-working, nobody would suspect me. They'll believe you cracked under pressure, tried to cheat. Meanwhile, I keep my record clean." My fists clenched. "You're insane. This could ruin my life." She smirked. "That's the point. Unless you do exactly what I say." My stomach flipped. "What do you want?" Her smile widened. "Simple. Cover for me. If anyone asks, you admit nothing. And when finals are over, you give me access to your laptop whenever I need it. No questions asked." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She was blackmailing me into helping her cheat her way through college. I wanted to scream, to throw the laptop in her face, but I couldn't. Because as much as I hated it, she was right. If I went down, no one would believe my story. They'd just see a desperate student caught red-handed. That night, I sat staring at the laptop again, my reflection in the dark screen. I couldn't let her control me like this. I had to find proof, something that would expose her before she dragged me down with her. But the deeper I dug into the files, the more I realized something terrifying. Kayla wasn't just stealing exams for herself. She was selling them. Hidden in the folders were Venmo transactions, messages arranging payments, even usernames of other students who had bought the answers. This wasn't just a roommate being shady. This was an entire operation. And Kayla was at the center of it. The more I uncovered, the more I realized how deep Kayla's scheme went. She wasn't just casually selling an exam or two, she had an entire network of students who depended on her for grades, and my laptop was the hub she used to run it all. Every file, every transaction was routed through my account, which meant if it got exposed, I'd look like the mastermind. I felt sick. Finals were only days away, and the walls were closing in. Kayla acted like nothing was wrong, smiling, joking with people in the hall, but every time she passed me in the room, she'd glance at the laptop with this smug confidence that made my blood boil. I knew I had to act, but I was terrified of making the wrong move. One mistake, and I'd be the one expelled. The breaking point came when I got an email from the dean's office. "We would like to meet with you regarding an academic integrity matter. Please come by tomorrow afternoon." My vision blurred as I read it. Kayla must have planted enough evidence already, and now I was officially on their radar. I looked over at her, lounging on her bed, scrolling her phone, and I swore I saw the faintest smirk when she noticed me reading the email. "Bad news?" she asked, pretending to sound innocent. I clenched my fists, fighting back tears. I had less than 24 hours to clear my name before I'd be dragged into a meeting where my entire future was on the line. That night, I reached out to Ethan. He was one of the only people I trusted, and he was good with tech. We met in the library, and I showed him the files, the transactions, the screenshots. His eyes widened as he scrolled through. "Dude, this is huge. If you take this to the dean, they'll think you're running the whole thing." "Exactly," I whispered. "I need to prove it's her." "But how?" Ethan leaned back, thinking. "We need to catch her in the act. Get proof that she's the one sending this stuff out, not you." That sounded impossible, but it was my only chance. We came up with a plan, set a trap. I'd leave the laptop in the room, unlocked but recording everything with the webcam. If Kayla used it, I'd have video evidence tying her to the files. My heart raced as I carried the laptop back to the dorm, trying not to let my fear show. That night, I set up the recording and pretended to fall asleep. Sure enough, around 2 a.m., I heard movement. Through the crack of my eyelids, I saw Kayla quietly slip out of bed, glance at me, then sit at my desk. My laptop screen glowed, and I watched her fingers fly across the keyboard. I held my breath, praying the recording was working. She pulled up the exam files, copied them, and started typing messages on her phone, sending them out. After half an hour, she closed everything and crawled back into bed like nothing happened. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I grabbed the laptop and checked the footage. Relief and adrenaline surged through me. It worked. I had her on video, crystal clear, using my laptop to spread the files. But my relief didn't last long. Because when I got back from class that afternoon, ready to finally take this to the dean, my laptop was gone again. Kayla was sitting on her bed, smiling, holding her coffee like she hadn't just ruined my life twice. "Looking for something?" she asked sweetly. My stomach dropped. She knew. Somehow, she knew I was onto her. And now she had the evidence I'd collected. My only shot at clearing my name was in her hands. And by the look in her eyes, she wasn't planning to give it back. The moment I saw the empty desk, my stomach dropped like I'd been shoved off a cliff. Kayla held her coffee cup with both hands, watching me panic, and for the first time since this nightmare started, I saw something terrifying in her eyes. She wasn't just smug, she was confident, untouchable, like she had already won. "You shouldn't have tried to outsmart me," she said casually. "Now I have everything I need." I felt the blood drain from my face. If she had found the recording, then my only leverage was gone. "What do you want from me?" I whispered. She leaned back against the wall, swirling her coffee. "Simple. You're going to take the fall. When they call you in tomorrow, you'll admit you panicked, tried to cheat, whatever sob story you want to spin. And you'll leave me out of it." "Why would I do that?" I shot back, though my voice cracked. She grinned. "Because if you don't, I'll show them what's on that laptop. And guess whose name is all over the files?" My heart pounded in my ears. She was right. Without the recording, I had nothing. She had me completely cornered. But then, something clicked. She was too cocky. Too sure I had no way out. And maybe, just maybe, she had overlooked something. That night, when she left for yet another party, I called Ethan in a panic and explained what happened. He listened quietly, then asked, "Did you save the recording only on the laptop?" My throat tightened. "Yeah." "Why?" He groaned. "You're smarter than this. Always back it up." I felt like an idiot, but then he said something that gave me hope. If the recording software you used autosaves to the cloud, it might still be there. My hand shook as I logged into the account from Ethan's computer. My pulse hammered as the files loaded. And then, like a miracle, I saw it, the recording from last night. She hadn't deleted it. She didn't even know it existed outside the laptop. Relief flooded me so hard I almost cried. The next day, I walked into the dean's office with Ethan by my side. Kayla was already there, sitting primly in her chair, her innocent face turned on full blast. The dean greeted us, his expression serious. "We've received troubling reports regarding leaked exams and files traced back to your computer," he said, looking directly at me. My hands trembled as I pulled out a flash drive. "With all due respect, sir, I think you should see this before making any conclusions." He plugged it in, and the video played on the screen. The room went silent as Kayla appeared, in perfect clarity, sneaking to my desk at night, opening the files, sending them out. The dean's eyes narrowed as he watched her every move. Kayla's face went pale, her composure cracking for the first time. It's fake," she stammered. "She edited this." But the dean wasn't buying it. "We'll be conducting a full investigation, but this evidence is damning." Security was called to escort her out, and I sat frozen in my chair, the adrenaline crashing over me in waves. As she was led away, she shot me a look so full of venom it made my skin crawl. But underneath it, I saw something else: fear. For the first time, she realized she wasn't untouchable. Afterward, the dean thanked me for bringing the evidence forward and assured me I wasn't in trouble. It would take time to sort out the mess, but my record was safe. Ethan grinned at me as we walked out. Guess you outsmarted her after all. But even as relief washed over me, I couldn't shake the chill that lingered. Because Kayla wasn't just some careless roommate, she was calculated, manipulative, and she'd nearly destroyed me without batting an eye. And though she was gone from campus, I knew one thing for certain: I'd be looking over my shoulder for a long time, wondering if she'd ever try to come back.